Welcome everybody here in the Fifth Third Arena on the beautiful campus of the University of Cincinnati for some Saturday midday basketball action. Sunday. I messed up my days, Ethan. My name is Justin Dietrich. I'm joined here by Ethan, and we're on Bearcast Media. Ethan, how you doing today?
I had to work this morning at 7 a.m., and I had a 7 to 12 shift at my friendly local Starbucks, and I booked it over here to make sure that I was here on time for tip-off. Got here plenty of time and been able to scout out the scene here, and it's not highly populated, but it is finals week, so you have to take that into consideration, and we're still in the midst of the non-conference slate. Had we played Villanova here, I think there would be a much bigger turnout. But in terms of team news, and a big thing that I'm sure you're going to touch on is Dan Skillings is available for Cincinnati, more than likely with minimal minutes.
Yeah, the Bearcats have been missing Skillings since their first game against Arkansas Pine Bluff, which was, of course, a big loss for them. He was the team's leading scorer last year, and of course, if you count that one game he's played, he's still the team's leading scorer, even though one game doesn't make him eligible for that. He had a great game. I mean, 17 points, 11 rebounds, 23 minutes in that one against Arkansas Pine Bluff, and the Bearcats have been missing him because the offense just hasn't looked the same since.
It really hasn't. I mean, missing Dan Skillings, probably the most intense and powerful player on this roster for Cincinnati, is something that you need, especially in such a high-powered, high-octane offense when you have players like Dylan Mitchell and you have players like Aziz Mandego, Simas Lukosius, who are able to create these opportunities for Cincinnati. And I've said it before off-air plenty of times when I'm describing this team to people. It's very reminiscent of the Kenyon Martin days of Cincinnati basketball, where the Bearcats were electric. They were driving inside the paint. They were able to put people on a poster left and right, but they can also shoot the three ball. They have Simas Lukosius. We haven't seen much of Connor Hickman. He has not quite found his groove yet when it comes to being a Bearcat, but you have seen him hit the occasional three ball as well. So you have plenty of those people who can get outside the arc, make a shot, and then you have Jizzle James. Jizzle James is as athletic as it goes when it comes to a guard, and that's exactly who you want driving inside the lane. And having Day-Day Thomas back, I'm sorry I'm so long-winded here.
No, you're good.
But Day-Day Thomas has been lights out as well since he's come back. He's played in three games so far this season for Cincinnati, coming off of that injury that put him out last year in the NIT. But having a full-strength team back for Cincinnati could be light and day between, especially last time out against Villanova. They lost by 8. They weren't shooting very well. You have Dan Skillings on the floor. He's able to create shots. And Cincinnati, they would have won that game had they had Dan Skillings.
I fully believe that. They did not shoot very well at all against Villanova. They did not play very well at all. A lot of turnovers, sloppy mistakes, and they still only lost that game by 8 points. I mean, that's not an astronomical loss for how bad they played. This season, a lot of overreactions happen after that game. Of course, losses happen and people overreact. That's very common.
Yep.
The season is not over, folks, and not even close.
No.
This team is fully on the way to being a tournament team. They have the talent. They've bought into the system that Wes Miller has brought to Cincinnati. I think that's the most important thing. All the players are fully bought into Wes Miller's philosophy, his system, the way he runs things. He's a smart coach, one of the youngest coaches in college basketball still. I mean, this team is just getting started, of course, with their second year in the Big 12. Take a look at the Howard Bison, the visitors here real quick. They're coming to this one 3-5, 1-3 on the road this season. Their last win was November 18th against Florida International. They won that 75-70. Their last loss, November 30th against Mount St. Mary's. They lost that one by 4. This team, they've had an interesting start to the season because they've played some tough opponents. And they've actually come out on top and looked pretty decent against some of these teams that you wouldn't typically expect.
I was talking to Neil Meyer pregame as well, scouting kind of how Howard is. And we all know last year Howard took Cincinnati to overtime in that game, which was actually on my birthday last year, which is super fun. That's how I spent my birthday. I got drunk and watched Bearcat basketball. What's not to love when you turn 21? But a big key to the success last year for Howard was Seth Towns, who was back, was a grad student out of Columbus, great minutes at Ohio State and at Harvard, and was really a problem for Cincinnati and opponents for Howard last year as well. And this year, they're without Seth Towns. That's going to be the biggest difference maker, that you see that they're 3-5. They did play number 1 ranked Kansas, and they lost by 30. They lost to Missouri, and they would lose to Boston and UMBC, as well as Mount St. Mary's. They're coming off of 3 losses in a row, so they're looking for a bounce back, and they're not. It's going to be a tough one here in Fifth Third Arena, as there are people still milling about the concourse here, so you might see some filling out here in one of the best atmospheres in the Big 12, if not college basketball, but still hard to play on the road, especially if you're coming in from the MEAC and playing these opponents that on the road are harder to play against.
Yeah, and the biggest thing that jumped out to me when I was looking at Howard, 15 turnovers per game is their season average. Now you're on the road in a tough environment. That's just going to amplify the amount of turnovers that you have. If Howard wants to stay in this game, head coach Kenny Blakeney has to stress, keep care of the ball. You cannot have those careless turnovers. You cannot turn the ball over to the Bearcats, because they are a deadly team, especially deadly in transition. You know what Dylan Mitchell can do with the ball in his hands in transition, as well as Dan Skilling's coming back, just offers more in transition. This is a team you just cannot afford to turn the ball over.
And if you're going to look at people who can take the ball away, Dylan Mitchell, Jizzle James are 2 of the leading players in terms of steals with the Bearcats. 11 for Dylan Mitchell, 9 for Jizzle James. And Dylan Mitchell, what's not to love about him? Transfer from Texas, he can push you on a poster from the free throw line. We saw it last home game, how his reach and just his level of athleticism can treat the Bearcats. And if Cincinnati's lucky, he stays for the rest of his career. And people, to add to that, are comparing him to Kenyon Martin, which is probably the biggest compliment he's ever going to get when it comes to Cincinnati basketball.
I mean, you know the impact that Kenyon Martin has here, of course, Cincinnati, and Dylan Mitchell coming here, the big transfer, former 5-star recruit to Texas as well. I mean, we all knew his name. He played here last year.
Yep.
He beat us last year.
Yep.
We knew his name. He decides to come join the Bearcats and just has made an absolutely incredible impact. It's what the Bearcats were really missing. Size was a huge concern coming into this season.
Yep.
Mitchell, of course, a little bit undersized for like that center position, but you're playing him at the hybrid 4. He's perfect size for that, about 6'8". It's exactly what you look for. And of course the athleticism that he brings. It's just another dynamic level to this team that makes it harder to stop. I mean, everyone on this Bearcats team can contribute both offensively and defensively. So it's tough to game plan.
It is. And well, I mean, we have the starting 5s in front of us right now, and it's been the same starting 5. I mean, minus Dan Skillings, who started the first game of the season, but since then it's been the same. And you look at it and you have 3 different players starting, averaging in double figures. Jizzle James, Dylan Mitchell, and Simas Lukosius all averaging above 10 points a game. Mitchell was 11, Lukosius was 16, and Jizzle James was 14.6. But it's high octane, and they can defend too. And it's been impressive, and you see how deep this roster goes. I mean, you had CJ Frederick, who last year was right under Simas Lukosius in that kind of 3-point shooting range. Now he doesn't play as much, but he's there, and you know that he's there and can still play.
Yeah, I mean, the depth of this team, you mentioned guys, even Rayvon Griffith, who did not play last year for the redshirt, coming in this year, he's played a couple minutes. He's played in 5 contests so far this season. You know you have depth in every facet of the game. I mean, that's just one of the things that Wes Miller's got to be so grateful for, that, because he knows he can play around with his pieces. He can move them around. He can mess with lineups. And it's something we've seen him do, of course. As you mentioned, Dan Skillings not getting the starting nod today, of course, just coming back from that injury. I expect to see him as one of the first 2 substitutions in for the Bearcats, at least to get him in play maybe 10, 15 minutes tonight, just to get him back into game action.
He'll definitely be limited. And it's big news, too, because next week is the
big
shootout.
One. Yeah.
That's the non-conference epitome for Cincinnati, one of the best non-conference rivalries in college basketball. It's up there with Duke UNC and another one that's slipping me. But it's unmatched. Whether it's at Fifth Third, whether it's at Cintas, it's unmatched. I had the honor of calling it 2 years ago when it was here, and that atmosphere is insane. And being able to witness that and the chance for those two teams to possibly be ranked. Cincinnati probably will still be ranked. They'll be a little lower. They're going to drop a couple places after falling to Villanova, but they'll still be ranked. And if Xavier can pull out a win in their next contest, which I'm not too sure, to be quite honest, when they play again, but the stakes might be as high as ever come next Saturday.
And I know Xavier's most recent game was a loss to TCU on the road in Fort Worth. So they dropped a tough one as well on the road. Of course, both teams now have a road non-conference loss. It's not a huge deal. But, of course, that one will be high stakes, high octane, great environment. That is next Saturday at 2 p.m. Of course, Bearcast Media will have coverage. It'll be me and Christian Pagan on the call for that one.
It'll be me and Aiden Riggs for the women's side at Cintas the next day at 1 o'clock.
Which should also be a very fun contest.
Yes, but both of those teams, on the women's side, Xavier has come back and gone on a better year than they were last year. Cincinnati blew out Xavier last year for Katrina Merriweather's first year as a head coach. This time, it'll be a little bit more competitive, I think, but I say that Cincinnati still pulls out that win. As if you've been paying attention to Cincinnati women's basketball, you need to invest your stock now. I mean, Tanea Hilton, Chloe Mann, Jillian Hayes always being that star-studded player for the Bearcats, but that's going to be a good one as well. Me and Aiden Riggs will be there that Sunday as Katrina Merriweather looks to stay undefeated against Xavier, both as a player and a coach, which is a fantastic stat to add to her resume.
Yeah, if the Bearcats can sweep the crosstown shootouts in that weekend, I mean, ooh, what a weekend that would be for Cincinnati fans.
Love
of course, every Cincinnati fan would be rejoicing. We'll take a look real quickly at the starting lineup for Howard. They got Anvar Gill in there, Marcus Dockery, Blake Harper, Joshua Strong, and Dom Campbell. And, of course, on the Bearcats side, we mentioned it's that same lineup it's been since Dan Skillings went down. You have Jizzle James, Connor Hickman, Dylan Mitchell, Seamoss Lukocis, and Aziz Bandego. Both teams have been introduced. And, of course, we have the hype video up here at Fifth Third Arena, which I'll say has been much improved from last season. I've been enjoying the team intro a lot more this year than last season.
As the creative interns and staff keep getting wiser and older and with more experience. I mean, last year it was unmatched. The year before that, same thing. But this year has been easily the best year for Cincinnati's creative team ever. And I know a lot of them. I work alongside them. I give them all of my footage that I use because they love those. They love radio calls. They do the same thing with Dan Horde. They get them from him. I give mine to them for women's basketball. But some of the stuff that they've created. Have you seen the football commitment videos?
Yeah, those were
Lego?
nice. Those were real nice.
I'm jealous. I want one of those. I don't know what for, but I want one.
You got to be a recruit, Ethan.
They can recruit me for play-by-play if they want. That's all I got. That's all I got to offer.
Howard out onto the court. Of course, we got to wait for everyone to clear before we can tip off. The Bearcats now taking the floor as well. Looks like it'll be Dom Campbell out there to do the tip for the Howard Bison. And, of course, on the Bearcat side, it will be Aziz Bandego.
Who else?
Campbell, 6'9". So Aziz has got a couple inches on him.
I still go for Aziz. Got the blue on white matchup for the unis too. Blue Howard in the blue with white trim, and Cincinnati in their black Jordans, or the white Jordans. Excuse me. My goodness, colorblind out here.
I quite like Howard's uniforms.
I do too.
They look nice.
The red names are gonna throw me off.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at numbers today because I'm not reading any of those names in the red.
Of course, we also do have to wait for TV to clear. Once we get the OK buzzer. Because the teams are early.
Yeah, they're out there. They're
officials
ready.
are early. Tip-off isn't slated till 2:02 technically. It's 2 o'clock on the dot.
Pump it up, playing in the arena as the Bearcats are looking to stay undefeated at home this season, 4-0. Their last win was at home against Alabama State on the 27th. They won that one 77-59. ESPN gives the Bearcats a 98.9% chance to win this matchup for their FPI rankings or FPI percentages, predictions.
Now I'm not sure what we're waiting on. Here we go.
Yeah, referee walking out to center court. And Bandego wins the tip, and it will go to the way of the Bearcats. Jizzle James will get things started. Guarded by Harper up top. Takes the screen by Mitchell, drives to his left, goes up and gets the layup to go. James soaring through. A quick start for the Bearcats. Now we'll see Gill with it for the Bison. Guarded closely by Jizzle James, not giving any space. Kicks to Harper on the wing. Harper drives baseline, throws it up, gets a foul call. Shot no good. He'll have 2 chances at the line.
So again, that's something you don't see very often, but I mean, obviously, it's going to be a little different. And you're coming off that loss. I don't know what's going to be going through the minds of these players, but uncharacteristic early foul here for Cincinnati.
Blake Harper at the line and bounces his first one in. Harper, a freshman, averaging just under 14 points a game this year. The native from Washington, D.C. He's had a great start to his collegiate career. We'll see if he can get the second free throw to go, and he does. Ties things up at 2. Once again, it'll be Jizzle James working on Harper. On the left side wing, takes a screen from Bandego. Now kicks Hickman. Swinging around. Lukosius on the far side wing. Almost has it knocked away from him. Comes back up with the ball. Now it's Hickman. Screen and roll to Bandego. Catches it high. Tries to kick it back out, but he shuffled his feet.
That was just unfortunate. I think there was just a little bit of contact there between Bandego and Campbell in the paint that kind of forced him to lose his plant foot a little bit, but it was a good look.
Anwar Gill working on James. Gets trapped up, has to kick it back out to Campbell. The Bearcats not giving any space to the Bison right now. Gill has it back. Now Harper at the top of the key.
Good
Fakes.
defense here.
Doesn't get past Mitchell. Gill drive inside. Does a little 360 move around the paint and gets the and one.
It's good defense up until that last moment. There was just a misstep there from Jizzle James. And again, just untimely fouls and almost uncharacteristic. I feel like we haven't seen much of this early from Cincinnati, especially at home.
A little bit of an unorthodox move for Gill there as he kind of just dribbled in a circle until he found space over James. His free throw is up and splashed. That'll make it 5-2 for the Bison early in this one. We'll see what the Bearcats can get going on offense now after a turnover in their last time down. James trying to look inside, has to kick it back out to Lukosius. Now back out Mitchell, hand off to James, driving to his right. Bandego low post. The jump hook is no good. Rebound, Dom Campbell.
Nice no-look pass, just maybe too short off that shot.
Blake Harper crosses left, is trapped on the baseline, and he shuffled his feet.
There's a turnover. I almost thought that he stepped out of bounds on the baseline, but good turnover. Gives Cincinnati another chance to either make it within one or tie.
Only one shot or 2 shots gone off for the Bearcats so far. Lukosius has it top of the key. He's been incredibly efficient this season. Drives inside, absorbs the contact, and gets the layup up and over Harper.
Good strength from Lukosius there.
5-4, Howard still leading. Gill has it. Hands off to Harper on the corner. Good bounce pass to Gill, cutting inside, kicks back out. Strong has nowhere to go, and he bounces off of Hickman's foot out of bounds.
It's good defense from Hickman, and good to disrupt that too, because I think that they were really looking for that corner three, and were able to disrupt that play.
Blake Harper will inbound things from the sideline right in front of Wes Miller. Bounces it into Gill, 18 seconds on the shot clock. Dom Campbell kicks out Dockery to shoot a corner three. And they'll say he stepped out.
I told you they were looking for that corner three, and they were going to get it in there no matter what. Unfortunately, just couldn't quite find where the sideline was.
5-4, Howard still leading the Bearcats with an opportunity to take back the lead. James has it on the close side wing. Drives to the right, kicks. Hickman, corner three.
Oh,
Rattles out off the side of the rim. Rebound goes to Blake Harper in the Bison. He's trying to push the pace. Finds Joshua Strong on the other side. Corner three is good.
it's like they're playing bingo where they're shooting from. Got to get it from every single spot on the floor. Made baskets from 3 different places.
Cincinnati trailing by 4 now. James working on Harper. Good defense by Harper. Denied James. Now Mitchell in the post. Gives it back out.
Ooh.
Good cut and roll by Mitchell. Received the pass by Hickman, and he's fouled. So Dylan Mitchell gets 2 opportunities at the free throw line.
That was a good no-look pass from Hickman, too. Just a little shy on the shot, and here comes Dan Skillings to check in.
Of course, you hear the roar of the crowd as Skillings will check in after the first free throw. The Bearcats shooting 59% from the line this season as Dylan Mitchell makes his first. And Dan Skillings is in for the first time since Arkansas Pine Bluff, the first game of the season, as Connor Hickman checks out.
For Dylan Mitchell, that's only the 2nd free throw he's made out of 16 attempts, and that's something that the Bearcats need to work on moving forward is free throw shooting.
And Mitchell cashes in his second, so he goes 2 or 2 from the line, a good early sign. And the Bearcats with a little bit of a light half-court press. And the Bison able to break it between Dockery and Gill. Harper on cross side to Strong, almost lost it out of bounds. Now down low, Dom Campbell. Kicks to a cutting Strong. Back inside to Campbell, and he flushes it down. A well-oiled machine to get that one.
There's a little bit of forced contact there on the other side, almost a moving screen, goes uncalled.
Skillings on the wing, drives to his left, rises up at the floater. And they'll say a charge call on Skillings as Campbell stood in there and took the fall. First I thought that was a floater, and then Mitchell came soaring in, so presumably it was a lob attempt.
Presumably. Cincinnati just not quite getting many calls going their way here early, only 16:08.
Dom Campbell checks out for Miles Stewart for the Bison as the Bearcats still in that light press. A little bit more trouble breaking it this time. They finally do. Joshua Strong kicks to Dockery. Swing all the way on the opposite side. Now they find Stewart down low. A heavy motion offense for the Bison right now. Stewart has it once again. Hand off to Gill. He's going to drive inside on Skillings. Gets stopped. Nowhere to go. The kick out. Dockery has to shoot a 3. And they'll wave the shot off.
I don't even know why.
I'm not exactly sure why they waved the shot off, but they waved the shot off. And
must have been a foul. He stepped out of bounds on the sideline. This is the second time that the Bison have stepped out of bounds taking the 3.
That does bring us to our first media timeout here in Fifth Third Arena as the Bearcats trail the Howard Bison 10-6. We'll be back after a short break here on Bearcast Media. Returning here after the timeout as the Bearcats are trailing the Howard Bison 10-6. Ethan, can I get a little review? You had the foot-long Bearcat donut. What is it called?
The Bearcat bar.
The Bearcat bar. Can we get a review on that?
So, it was really good. Very doughy. The frosting, astounding. Top tier. Milton's is a great place to go if you need a donut. But Justin is astounded at the fact that I ate 3/4 of that before tip and then finished it at the last timeout.
I mean, I did have the small donut as Skillings is in there for a layup. Good pass by Lukosius. I had the small chocolate sprinkled donut before, and that was quite good. But you had a foot-long donut that you ate between the first 5 minutes of the game and 10 minutes before pregame. I mean,
yep. I was hungry.
Impressive, to be honest.
Thank you. Thank you.
Harper on the wing, guarded by Tyler Betsy, who's checked in the game, goes up with a left-handed hook and gets it over Betsy.
All I gotta say is you gotta watch out for the pregame show for the crosstown shootout. We might be reviewing some more items.
Ooh. Yeah, if our ideas go through, that will be fun.
Yep.
Bandego in the post, kicks to Skillings. Now Jizzle will shoot a corner three, splish splash, Jizzle James.
It seems like Cincinnati's found a little bit more of their offensive footing.
The confidence in James to shoot that one. Blake Harper has it again. He's been the main man. This offense has been centered around on the Bison side. Now Gill kicks to Stewart. One dribble and he's trapped, looking to get it out, and they get it back to Stewart. Harper at the top, 3 seconds. He'll pull up for three over Betsy. Backboard, no good. Fight for the rebound. Skillings falls and comes up with it, trying to control his dribble as he's half on the ground. Eventually he gets it. Kicks to James, a corner three from the opposite side. Ah, no good. Offensive board goes to Bandego, and he's fouled on the putback attempt.
Skillings with, I mean, just another display of the reason why he could arguably be one of the best players on this Bearcat roster. But also, you gotta watch out for him. He fell twice on that last offensive possession for Howard. He got up fine. He doesn't show any signs of being hurt, but definitely watch out for that moving forward for Cincinnati. And then a nice play under the basket as well. Jizzle really wanted that opposite corner three, but Aziz there to clean it up.
Bandego clanks his first one at the free throw line. 12-11, the Howard Bison still leading over the Bearcats. 6 minutes into this one, Bandego with his second opportunity and a chance to tie it up. We'll see Day Thomas check into the game, who's still newer to action this season. He's only played in 4 of the contests, his first one being at Northern Kentucky across the border.
That's your JUCO star right there in Day Thomas.
Bandego with his second opportunity at the line. Of course, free throw shooting was something he struggled with last year and doesn't hit his second one. So it's still a 1-point lead for Howard.
It's 10 for 14 so far this season. And
Harper puts up a wing three off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound to Stan Skillings. Day Thomas pushes the pace, gets it all the way up to Mitchell, and now they'll kick back out Skillings. Working against Harper and Okiki. Now Thomas kicks to Skillings. He gets past Shockley Okiki. And they'll get a foul call down low.
It was a good drive again by Dan Skillings. And I mean, you can tell that he's feeling better. He's not afraid to drive it in and make these athletic plays that he has been before, which I don't know if that's to the joy or dismay of Wes Miller, but nonetheless, it's been going well.
They catch Blake Harper for that foul, and the Bearcats have it back in. Mitchell on the wing, kicks to Thomas, fakes the three, drive, fakes the pass out to Skillings, and bounces the layup in. Tay Thomas. Incredibly athletic finish.
That's a vintage move from Day Thomas. I mean, beautiful fake pass there to Dan.
Harper, guarded tightly by Betsy down low, kicks to Shockley Okiki, knocked away by Skillings, and his toes out of bounds. It's Bearcats basketball.
Dan Skillings is loving it. He's all over the floor in his return with Cincinnati. I mean, he's made 1 basket so far for 2 points with 2 rebounds. Now a steal and an assist so far in 3 minutes. And he's staying on the floor.
We see Marcus Dockery check back in for Howard. Arrington Page did check in for the Bearcats just a minute ago. Skillings takes the handoff from Thomas. Gets it to Mitchell coming off the screen. Fakes the three. Drive, kick. Thomas thought about the corner three. Now he'll kick it back out. Dan Skillings. On the opposite side, Tyler Betsy. Continuing to swing it around the perimeter. It's Dan again, driving side and can't get the layup to go. Fight for the offensive rebound. Doesn't go Page's way. Blake Harper gets it. Marcus Dockery trapped in the corner by Arrington Page. Eventually gets it out. That's Jaron Johnson. Working on Thomas. Thomas maybe tried to sell a call there.
It's an interesting little sequence there.
Now Joshua Strong on the handoff. Back to Harper. Ooh. Driving, kick high. Dom Campbell goes up with it. Doesn't get it the first time, but gets the tip in the second time.
That was good defense there by Dylan Mitchell. Just unfortunately couldn't quite get that second attempt.
Thomas on the wing. Gives to Page, who fumbles with it, but gets it back. Bearcats need to get into an offensive rhythm here soon. They've had a couple of individual plays, but haven't really worked as a unit. Thomas drives with the fadeaway jumper off the side of the rim. No good.
Just a bit outside there.
Blake Harper with another rebound. I feel like he's been all over the boards today. Tries to get past Mitchell. He's stopped. Good defense by Dylan Mitchell. Now the kick over to Joshua Strong. Back to Marcus Dockery. Try to swing it down low to Campbell. That was knocked away by Page initially, and then out of bounds off of Day Thomas. And that brings us to our second media timeout here. 11:22 left to go in the first half as Bearcats trail the Howard Bison 14-13. Ethan, what do the Bearcats need to be doing better to get back into this game? Of course, they're not out, but still trailing is not exactly what you want to see.
It's just a matter of finding their offensive rhythm and picking things up on defense. This motion-driven offense of Howard is proving to be a little bit of a problem for Cincinnati, and you can see it on their screens off the motion as well. They kind of get caught up on that back man, and if they can find a way to kind of avoid that and make some more defensive pressure, it'll go better in the means of obviously defending the home basket, but you get more opportunities down the other end of the floor, and if Cincinnati can find a way to steal their shots, I feel like it'll go better for them. They haven't really found much luck outside the arc yet today, and I feel like they've had a little bit more success driving inside the paint, so maybe kind of go back to more of a dribble drive offense for this particular moment and see how that fares, and then if you can kick it out and get some threes in, that might not hurt.
There are only 3 today coming from Jizzle James in the corner who knocked that one down. He's the team's leading scorer with 5. On the Howard side, they've got multiple players with 4 points. That's be their leading scorer. Dom Campbell and Blake Harper both with 4 in for them. They have just played a sound game. And we mentioned the turnover issues for Howard. They average 15 a game. They've got 4. They've beaten the Bearcats in that, but they're not necessarily on pace to reach that 15, which you would think the Bearcats would be able to cause a few more turnovers with the way their defense is kind of just nagging all over the place.
And you've seen a couple of times where the ball's been poked out. Dan Skillings did force a really good turnover earlier in the last offensive possession for Howard, but the most recent one, it was poked away, but then ricocheted off Dan Skillings out of bounds. So it's just going to be a matter of possibly finding a better way of forcing the turnover, or at least just better ball control when it comes to receiving the ball off of said turnover.
Yeah, I really don't think the defense has been that bad. It's been quite good. I mean, 14 points in 9 minutes, that's you'll take that. You really got to be scoring more than 13, and I think it's going to boil down on how you can fix the offense. I think Wes is going to run a couple rotations, try a few new sets maybe, get a few different players in. We'll see. Looks like we're going to have Hickman back in the game as well as Josh Reed out of the timeout. So we'll see if
slightly smaller.
Mitchell and Page will be running the 2 big spots, and then Day Thomas sticking out in the court as well. Yeah, two guard lineup. Reed's kind of your typical wing, and then Mitchell and Page. It's a little bit of an odd lineup, but West maybe trying to catch him off guard with a couple players who aren't typically on the floor at the same time. Marcus Dockery will inbound on the baseline. And they'll catch Dylan Mitchell for a clear foul call. He was holding Blake Harper before the pass got inbounded.
And that's not exactly what you want to see if you're Cincinnati. Dylan Mitchell already up to his second foul, and it's foul number 4 on Cincinnati.
Immediately after the pass in, Blake Harper cashes a deep 2 from the corner. Now a 3-point lead for Howard as the Bearcats offense really needs to get something going here, even just any type of shot. Connor Hickman has it on the wing, tries to bounce it down low to Josh Reed. It's stolen by Joshua Strong. Harper in transition, backboard floater way off the mark, rebounded by Hickman.
It's a strong rebound there from Hickman.
Reed has it on the wing, kicks down low, Arrington Page, one dribble, and tried to kick it to the opposite corner, right into the arms of Blake Harper.
It's just bad passing vision right now for Cincinnati.
Tough drive inside, Jaron Johnson. Foul's gonna go.
Seems like nothing is going right here for Cincinnati. On the first turnover, Josh Reed was just off balance and couldn't quite collect the pass from Connor Hickman. Good defense on the other end to make sure that there wasn't a score off that, but it's just been bad passing so far.
They caught Josh Reed for that foul before the shot. So an inbound and another opportunity for the Bison. Gill has it, kicks to Blake Harper. He's been their main focal point, drives on Lukosius, puts the floater way short.
I think it was an extra step from Harper, but no matter, he missed.
We got Dede Thomas, goes to his right, now kicks back out. Hickman on the opposite wing. Now up top, Lukosius. We haven't seen much from the Bearcats' leading scorer so far. He'll take a 3 from the wing, and he'll cash that one in. I guess reverse jinx, because we want that to happen.
Ears were burning there. He heard you say that and said, here, watch this.
My bad, Seamas. Do more of that, please. Harper on the opposite side, guarded by Seamas Lukosius. High post, Dom Campbell. Kick to a cutting Dockery. Dockery's going to take it. Ooh. Good bounce pass down low to Campbell. He had it stripped away. Dede Thomas had his hand on that one. Lukosius in transition. Lob to Page. Oh, he missed it. Hickman kick back out. Thomas for 3. Clank back iron. Another offensive rebound.
It's a big-time foul on Page. He grabbed the offensive board but got dragged to the floor by Campbell in the process. So it's a foul on Campbell under the basket, and that should result in shots here. Or it won't be shots, but it will be Cincinnati's ball coming off.
We see Aziz Bandego check back in for Page, and on the Bison side, we got Miles Stewart back in as well as Cameron Shockley Okiki. Hickman coming off the screen, receives it, kicks back to Thomas. Thomas drives baseline, goes up, hangs in the air, and has it blocked.
That's smart. That's smart from Dede Thomas. He lost it, hit the floor, and instead of allowing Howard to get a possible fast break opportunity, he kicked the ball out, which is a foul. So takes that foul instead of allowing Howard to possibly take the lead back.
Tied at 16, 9 minutes to go in the first half. Gill has the ball, guarded tightly by Jizzle James. Bearcats in a zone defense now, trying to combat this motion. Shockley Okiki gets it down low, couple pump fakes, and he gets it to go. Lukosius on the opposite side. Drive and kick to Reed, now back to Lukosius. He'll go to his left, loses it on the drive, and they'll catch a foul call.
Good way to draw that foul there from Lukosius, and he'll step to the stripe.
That'll go on Gill.
It'll be baseline inbound. Sorry, I keep predicting these wrong.
Gill picks up his first. Lukosius gets it off the screen. Now kicks Bandego wide open down low, and he flushes it with ease.
We're going to need a lot more of that from Cincinnati, just stuff that they're used to.
Dockery has it on the wing, now down to Stewart. Hand off to Gill. He ran into his own man, a dive for it. Stewart with a great effort. Back out to Gill. They're both okay. Opposite side, kick to Strong. A deep 3 off the mark.
Bodies collided everywhere, and just lucky that since that Howard didn't capitalize off of that.
Simas Lukosius with a bad pass straight into the hands of Marcus Dockery, and he'll shoot up a three on the other side. Just rimmed out. Tied at 18. Shizzle James has it. Working on Strong, goes up with the right hand off the backboard, no good. But Aziz Vandego is there and just misses the second attempt.
This Bearcats team just looks all out of sorts. And it's interesting to see it because they just can't land anything. They're shooting 41% from the field, but it hasn't really equated to much. We're tied at 18.
Gill drives inside on Lukosius, knocks him over, loses it. Josh Reed in transition. Reed sidesteps Dockery and gets it to go.
That's what you need. Get these turnovers, force the fast break, and that's how you're going to be successful here in this game.
A good play from Reed. Gives the Bearcats back the lead. Shockley Okiki guarded by Lukosius up top. Drives to his left. Fakes against Lukosius in the air, and a good move and great patience to get that one.
Timeout called by Wes Miller, and he's angry.
I've seen Wes Miller be angry when they win by 20. He is not going to be happy when you're tied here with 7 minutes to go in the first. It is not exactly what the Bearcats expected here this Sunday afternoon, as it's tied 20-20 with Howard in Fifth Third Arena. We'll be back after a short break here on Bearcast Media. Returning here after the timeout called by Wes Miller, trying to see if he can instill some type of fire or spark in his team and finish this first half strong. You can sense the unease in Fifth Third Arena right now as their ranked Bearcats are tied with Howard at, 14 minutes down in the first half.
It's been a tough going, and it's just how can Cincinnati get going offensively here? Lukosius
has it up top, guarded by Joshua Strong. Bandego high post, handoff Lukosius. Drive, spin, floater is good.
It's a good start for Simas Lukosius, the leading scorer for Cincinnati.
Love seeing him be aggressive on the offensive side of the ball. On the opposite side, it's Dockery. Kicks to Harper on the wing, guarded by Tyler Betsy, the freshman standout. Swinging the opposite side, knocked away by Dede Thomas. Harper came up with it. Joshua Strong, corner three. No good. Rebound, Simas Lukosius.
Cincinnati's lucky they missed that shot because that was a missed loose ball that they could have grabbed.
Dede Thomas in transition. Hands off Lukosius. That one back iron, no good. Rebounded by Betsy. Now Skillings has it. Kicks Thomas. Back out. Tyler Betsy three. Ooh,
Oh.
well off the mark for Tyler Betsy. Rare for him to miss that badly. Harper kicks out to Dockery. Oh my, what a move. Marcus Dockery.
Goodness.
Step back three.
Cincinnati has to find some kind of answer here, or it's going to be tough sledding the rest of the way.
Dede Thomas is going to work things up top for the Bearcats. Dan Skillings in the corner, tries to go inside to a cutting Bandego, gets it to him. Pump fakes once, goes up the second time, and Bandego gets that one to finish.
That was a nice no-look pass from Dan Skillings.
Harper gets past Betsy, tries to get it over. Skillings, who was soaring in there, missed it. And now the Bearcats with an opportunity to try to extend their lead. They're up 24-23, just past 5 minutes to go in the first half. Simas Lukosius up top. Wes Miller barking directions at his team. Bandego gets it down low and stripped by Joshua Strong. The attempt to save it by Stewart hit Bandego and out of bounds, so it will be Howard basketball. As we'll get a couple, excuse me, couple of substitutions here for the Bearcats. Josh Reed.
Cough drop in there.
Ethan, I have a lot of them. I've gone through like 8 already in the first half. This cold weather has been affecting my throat recently. Has not been ideal.
You need to get an NIL deal with Hall's cough drops.
I would promote them for free. Just give me a couple bags and I'd do it. Couple substitutions in for the Bearcats. Mitchell, Page are back in, and Reed set the check back in. The Bison with the ball, under 10 seconds on the shot clock. Joshua Strong was trapped. Harper has it in the corner. Works over Dylan Mitchell. The jumper is good. Oh my, Blake Harper.
And everything is falling for Howard. They are shooting over 50% now from the field, and Cincinnati, the answer is going to come offensively.
Dede Thomas has it. Gives it off Lukosius on the 5th-3rd logo. Takes a screen from Page. Now gives it Dan Skillings down low.
Yep.
And they'll get a foul call holding on Arrington Page. And that will bring us to the final media timeout of the first half. 3:53 left to go. The Bearcats, I believe, have been trailing at every media timeout. They're trailing this one 25-24. These the Howard Bison are shooting 53% from the field. A ridiculous number for a team that's on the road right now in a tough environment.
And they came to this game prepared. They came to win because this early in the season, knocking off a top 15 team in the country is something that looks really good on your resume moving forward. And especially for Howard, a road win against a ranked opponent is going to be huge, and they're throwing everything they have at the Bearcats, and Cincinnati just doesn't look like they're ready.
Yeah, it's almost as if the Bearcats, they just don't look in sync. It's a lot of individuals out there playing basketball. It's not a team right now playing basketball. They really just need to come together, figure something out offensively. Honestly, if you need to, they've been targeting a lot of pick and roll, trying to go down low, and that hasn't necessarily been working. I would be fine with them trying to play the perimeter game for a couple minutes before the second half.
Both teams are 2 for 7 in shooting threes. They're identical in 29%. And both teams have made 10 shots just in general. So 8 from the field, inside the paint, what have you. Cincinnati just has taken 3 more shots that have missed as opposed to Howard. That Howard's taken 19, Cincinnati's taken 22.
Just hasn't been an ideal offensive afternoon for Cincinnati. Looking at some of their top guys, Simas Lukosius is back as the leading scorer today for the Bearcats. He's got 7, averaging about 16 on the season this year, exactly 16 a game this year. They really need to get a lot of production out of him. Dan Skillings, of course, being nursed back slowly from that injury, only had 2 points today. Dede Thomas, 1 of 4 from the field. They're going to need a little bit more production out of him as well. And then you see Dylan Mitchell hasn't even attempted a shot from the field yet. Only 2 points coming off of free throws at the near beginning of the game.
And that's just good scouting from Howard because they know that Dylan Mitchell can be a force down low as well. And they're taking that away from Dylan Mitchell. That's part of the reason why Cincinnati is down by 1 point, is that you look at the stat sheet for Cincinnati and they love to go down low. And you look at this, Connor Hickman is 0 for 1. Dylan Mitchell has not attempted a shot so far today. Arlington Page is 0 for 1. He's only taken 1 shot as of recent. Dede Thomas has taken 4, and Jizzle James has taken 4 shots as well. They're just eliminating the shooting game for Cincinnati, and it's proving to be the best option for them through the first almost 20 minutes.
It will be Bearcats basketball underneath the basket coming out of the media timeout. They've got Thomas, Skillings, Mitchell, Page, and Reed on the floor. Reed is the one inbounding, gets to Thomas in the corner. Now Dylan Mitchell, and they swing it over to Dan Skillings. Opposite side, Thomas, he'll spot up from a deep wing 3, no good. Offensive rebound, Josh Reed, and he gets that one to go. Good play by Reed.
Wow, look at that.
Steal by Thomas. Throws a lob to Page, couldn't get it. Dylan Mitchell soars in there and saves the mistake.
That sequence right there, Dylan Mitchell jumped in front of the pass, saved it from going out of bounds midair, passed it back to Dede Thomas, who found a cutting Arlington Page under the basket, but Dylan Mitchell was able to fly in there. Great speed from Dylan Mitchell to come back in and get that second chance opportunity. And this is what you need if you're Cincinnati. It's these high octane, almost unorthodox plays that you look for that Cincinnati can force to then take the lead.
Yeah, I mean, now that could be a little bit of an energy builder on your bench, right? The team's probably been a little down. The energy's been down. The body language hasn't been what we're used to seeing. This team's normally talking, having fun, dancing, smiling out there in the court. Haven't seen much of that so far today. That may be something that just kind of improves the mood of the Bearcats team and is able to help them get into a little bit of a rhythm.
So when the Bearcats are down energy-wise, it just does not look good.
Bearcats are back in that light press. Gill's able to break it and get past half court for the Bison.
Tough shove from Gill.
Gill's going to drive all the way inside on Thomas. Now look for a cutting Dockery, who gets the layup over AP. A good move by Marcus Dockery. Quickly on the other side, Josh Reed will spot up for 3.
Oh,
back iron off the mark for Reed. Had a good look. Now Gill on the other side going quickly again. This time a floater over Page. Doesn't get it. Hickman's able to come in with the rebound. In transition, Thomas sidesteps up and under. Almost got it.
There's a foul. That was a late whistle, too. Dede Thomas is down. Oh, he's all right. He flipped over. Just need to catch his breath.
Laying for dramatic effect a little bit. I did that once in CYO. I got fouled and I laid there for like a couple minutes until my teammates came over and they teed up the guy that knocked me over, and the teammates thought I was hurt. I turned around and like, did they give the guy the tech or no? And as soon as they said yes, I stood up and everything was fine. I just laid there for dramatic effect. Had to get that kid the tech, you know?
That's impressive that you were able to give him the tech like that.
The acting skills, you know?
Give him the Emmy or the Oscar or whatever the award is.
28-27, Arlington Page at the line for the Bearcats. No good for the first free throw. Running in transition is strong. Blocked by Page.
make up for the missed free throw with that block.
Page running in transition, misses the lay, and he's fouled. He wants that one back.
Yeah, you can see that immediately, the regret from Arlington Page that he missed it. But good hustle play on the other end of the floor from Arlington Page. I mean, and the jump as well, just to be able to get up there and time that perfectly to block the shot.
Page 0 for 1 from the line this game.
15 of 21 on the season.
Bearcats still holding on to that 1-point lead. His first free throw for him is up and good. Extends the lead up to 2 now for the Bearcats. Up to 50% from free throw line for this game. Jizzle James checks in for Day Thomas, and we'll see Simas Lukosius come back in for Dylan Mitchell. Page with his second attempt. The transfer from USC gets that one to go. So Page 2 for 2 from the line that time, makes up for his prior mistake. And we'll see if the Bison can break the Bearcats press once again. They do. Jaron Johnson has it. Working on Hickman, trying to go to Dockery. Doesn't have him. Has it poked away by Hickman. A dive for it. Hickman isn't able to come up with it. He's on the ground still. Now he gets up. Kick out Joshua Strong. Ooh. Pumps a three, sidesteps, and gets it to go.
That was a dirty pump there, too. I mean, it caught Arlington Page way off.
30-30, under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Jizzle James has it. Had it poked away, passed by Reed, was stolen by Strong. A cutting Blake Harper in transition finds Stewart, the up and under. Oh my, way off the mark. Somehow saved by the Bison. Minute 30 to go now in the first half. Strong has it. Guarded tightly by Reed, kicks to a cutting Harper. A great pass out to Jaron Johnson, who just can't get the corner three to go. Really well made pass, and look there. Ooh, a miscue by the Bearcats. Lukosius tried to lob it to Page, and Reed tried to intercept it. And on the other end is a missed three by Dockery. Offensive rebound to Blake Harper, and he draws the foul on Arrington Page.
And that was exactly what you said about the team not looking like they're in sync. Two different players went up for the jam when it should have just been Page. Josh Reed got selfish and tried to go up for it himself. When you have to just pick out, you have to call and pick who it's going to be and call the other one off.
Harper at the line, hits the first one. Harper's had a good day so far. They're making 9 points for the freshman, 6 rebounds in 16 minutes. Yeah, I mean, that's just miscommunication. As you know, as much as I love Josh Reed, you know, he's not going to be able to make that play. He's not going to make that dunk. That's just not going to happen. You can't go up for that one. Got to leave that to your teammate Arrington Page there. Minute left. The Bearcats trail by 2 points. James has it. Day Thomas is back in. Kicks to Thomas in the corner. Now Lukosius coming up the screen. He'll put up the three. It's good. Simas Lukosius gives the Bearcats back the lead. Under a minute to go. Strong comes off the screen. Kicks back out to Harper in the corner. Down low, Miles Stewart needs help from Harper. Bison's continuing to move it around the perimeter. It's Dockery this time. Crosses up Reed, scoops the layup, no good. A good closeout by Josh Reed there. 20 seconds to go, and the Bearcats will presumably hold for the final shot attempt of the first half. They lead 33-32. 10 to go. James has it. 7 to go. James crosses. High pass to Bandego. Kicks. Lukosius from the corner. Knocked down. Simas Lukosius with swagger.
That's exactly how you want to end this half if you're Cincinnati. Hasn't been the best first half, but going up in the locker room up 4, Wes Miller is going to talk to his guys and get him to figure it out.
Lukosius heating up at the end of that one. He ends the half with 13 points, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc, and the Bearcats with a 4-point lead. Like you said, they haven't played great, but to go to half with that lead, you know Wes Miller's going to rip into his team.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
not happy,
Nope.
but it's a good sign going forward that at least one of your offensive players is heating up. That does bring us to halftime here in Fifth Third Arena. Ethan, it's been a little bit of a rough game. Of course, we can both admit that.
Yep.
But the Bearcats started to pick it up a little bit towards the end of that first half. What did you see that they were doing differently?
There were a lot more forced turnovers, I think, and in that, they are also catching themselves off guard because they bite off of a missed turnover when they try and go for that missed steal that then opens up the 3-ball, and Howard has been capitalizing off that open 3. They've missed more than they've made, but with the ones that they're making are setting a higher tone for against Cincinnati. Howard now back to shooting under 50%. They're shooting 44% right now, but Cincinnati has kind of found this lockdown defense as well under the basket. So they're kind of eliminating that dribble drive that Howard has been able to kind of find against Cincinnati and have been kicking out to the perimeter. Howard has been missing a few threes, but they're going to have to figure out a way to lock it down better on the perimeter as well. And Cincinnati offensively, they've kind of started to find a couple of shots here and there. It's just gonna depend on how they come out in the second half.
And with that, that will bring us to our halftime break. Yeah, we'll take a short break here on Bearcast Media, and we'll be back before halftime. Ethan will be on play-by-play for the second half as he just made the shot.
Just made a half-court punt to win some Chick-fil-A or something.
I wish. I love Chick-fil-A.
I do too. Wow.
I'm 90% of their business during the weekdays. They should give me some Chick-fil-A. I'm jealous of that, man.
Wow.
That's a good putt, though. As a man who spent some of my days playing golf this summer, that's a hell of a putt.
Most I've got is putt golf, but hey, I'll take it.
Well, after that short interruption, now it'll bring us to our halftime break here on Bearcast Media.
Mustard!
Welcome back to Fifth Third Arena. A tight deficit here between Cincinnati and Howard. 36 for Cincinnati, 32 for Howard. Alongside Justin Dedrick, I'm Ethan Herzog. And it's been a tough first half for Cincinnati offensively. They're shooting 48%, 14 of 29, better than what they shoot last time out in the whole game against Villanova of 38% so far. But what are they going to have to do to be able to get off on the front foot here in the second half?
Honestly, they really haven't looked great when they're trying to play those design sets, the pick and rolls, working it inside. I would tell them to go out there, play unstructured basketball. Guys, have fun with it. You've got a lot of talented players. Your sets have not been working. Let them go out there and play their game. Let Jizzle James go out there, work a few isolation plays. Luke Koshis at the end of the half started knocking down the threes, coming off the screens, hitting those. Let him work a little bit. Let the guys have a little bit more free reign. I think they're kind of reeled in after that loss to Villanova because they don't want to have a disaster again. Don't reel in. Play free.
Simas Lukosius ended the first half with a 3-point buzzer beater to send the teams to the locker room. He leads all scorers with 13 total points, 5 of 6 from the field, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. Blake Harper, 10 total points as well for Howard, 3 of 8 from the field, 4 of 4 from the stripe, and that's going to be another key here coming up for Cincinnati is how can they fare at the free throw stripe. Shooting, they've been shot 7 different times and have only made 4, and Howard has made all 5. It's going to be a tough showing here for Cincinnati offensively as both teams set to start the second half. It looks like the starting lineup for Cincinnati back out on the floor. Jizzle James, Simas Lukosius, Connor Hickman, Aziz Vandego, and Dylan Mitchell all on the floor for the Bearcats, and looks about the same as well for Howard. Howard will start with the basketball. Gill gets the inbound pass from Campbell. He's going to be standing at center court. 36-32, Cincinnati's lead by 4. Here's Harper with it. Corner, bounces off the foot of Dylan Mitchell and out of bounds. So a baseline inbound coming for Howard.
It's been only 10 seconds, Ethan, but I think I can notice the energy difference on the Bearcats. They're just a little bit more spring in their step.
There's a whistle and a foul called on Jizzle James. It'll be James's second foul of the game. So far, the player with the most fouls for the Bearcats is a two-way tie between Dylan Mitchell and Jizzle James, both with 2. Howard still with the ball, baseline, takes it up, and it's lost and picked back up by Jizzle James. Here's the Bearcats in transition, sidesteps and 2-hand jam from Dylan Mitchell. There's 2 more for Cincinnati in a 38-32 lead.
There's the danger in transition that the Bearcats can bring. Mitchell with a great slam.
Needed that one, Cincinnati did. Now Howard looking to respond. They had it turned over on their first possession of the second half. Here's Vandego walking down against Campbell. Campbell hands it off, goes to Strong. Strong trying to get off the screen of Campbell. Stuck in the paint right around the elbow. He's going to pass that one over and taken away by Jizzle James. Bearcats with numbers. Here comes James. Lost it up and over and good for 2.
A quick transition start for the Bearcats. If that's going to be their way their offense comes, I'm all for it.
James gets stuffed on the screen. Cincinnati fans don't like it. Gill had it, lost it, picked up by Simas Lukosius. Here come the Bearcats down the floor again. Dylan Mitchell to Aziz Bantego. Throw that one down and put it on a poster. Cincinnati up by 10, holding Howard scoreless in the first 2 minutes.
This is the number 14th ranked team in the country I expected to see, Ethan. This is what I expected. Coming out of that second half strong, whatever Wes Miller did, whatever he said, I want it to happen more. I like it.
Wes Miller coaching this team off of a loss to Villanova, a good Villanova team. They're sneaky good. We're able to steal the win away from Cincinnati, and now the Bearcats looking to come back around and steal one from Howard. We'll take a timeout right with them. We'll be back here in just a moment. You're listening to Cincinnati men's basketball here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Welcome back to Fifth Third Arena. Cincinnati on a big run to open up the second half, leading now by 10, 42-32 against the Howard Bison, and just electric off the start.
Yeah, I mean, they really just came out with more energy. High energy, body language is better, smiles are out there, they're having fun, and we've been joined by Aiden.
We have been joined by Aiden. He can join if he wants to. I have an extra headset in my backpack. As
We have like 12 extra
basketball.
headsets in our backpack.
Here, down the floor comes Dockery. Dockery gets the handoff, goes to Harper. Harper moving it back around. Howard moving from right to left on your radio dial. Puts it up top of the circle. Bounce pass from Stewart. Back over to Strong. Strong, 9 seconds of the timer to work with. Back to Strong, going against Connor Hickman. He passed it over, top of the circle, 3-ball on the way, back iron, no good. Screaming for the rebound is Connor Hickman. Physical fight there, and he wins that battle. Here come the Bearcats. Jizzle James quickly lofts it. Dylan Mitchell! Look out below! Here come the Bearcats! Now the Bison back forward. Dylan Mitchell tries to draw the foul. Can't quite get it against Harper. He takes that and lofts it up for two. Aziz Bantego all alone plays it back for Simas, and it's up and in. Where has this offense been the entire first half? Here comes Howard down the floor. Gill with the rock, makes a move off to his right. Fires it off. It's going to be a deep two up from Stewart, and it's good. Howard scores twice in the past 30 seconds.
It's all been transition off of turnovers. They've played scrappy defense so far, and they've gotten in transition off and running. You can't stop the soaring Bearcats.
Connor Hickman flops it for Aziz Bantego. Was behind him, and a foul called, I believe, on Harper. He can't believe that call. That was made by the official. Today's referees, John Gaffney, Doug Sermons, and Antonio Petty. This contest between the Bearcats and the Bison. Cincinnati leading 46-36 with 17:24 remaining here in the second half. But an offensive showing coming up here early in this half. They have shot so far 100%. That ball lofted, but a whistle blows, and it's going to be a dead ball and a foul called on number 4 for Howard Stewart. That's going to send a Bearcat to the line shooting 2. I completely missed the play. I was looking at my stats.
Howard or Mitchell caught it like back here and tried to tomahawk it and just threw it right at the square of the backboard.
He tried. The effort was there, but I think that will go down as a shot, so Cincinnati no longer shooting 100%. First shot from Dylan Mitchell up and good. Dylan Mitchell, who coming into this game was 1 of 15 from the charity stripe. He's made all 4 that have been presented to him so far. Here's another. It's up off the rim, no good. Fighting for the offensive rebound, it'll be won by Howard. Here they come down the floor, looking to get some points back here against Cincinnati. Nice move under the basket, puts up a shot, and it's going to go wide. This shot from Stewart, Cincinnati snags the board. Here come the Bearcats back down the floor. Dylan Mitchell kicks it back out to Jizzle James. He's standing left wing. Rotates back inside, a nice cut, but lost the rock. It's going to go back the other way for Howard. Here comes Dockery. Dockery crossing a timeline, meets Jizzle James. Going to slow down the pace a little bit here. 22 seconds on the timer. Gill has it against Dylan Mitchell. Makes a spin move against him. Backdoor cut, and it's up and in. Howard not going away. We saw this a lot last year in the same matchup, but that one back in D.C. Jizzle James went for the backdoor, kicks it back out. Top of the circle, it's up no good for 3 from Seamas. Aziz Bandego had caught the rebound and tried to throw it back to Seamas, but a whistle blows and a foul called on Howard.
Yeah, just good effort and hustle by the Bearcats right now. They're diving for loose balls. They're going for offensive rebounds. It's those type of hustle plays that don't show up on the stat sheet, but it allowed the Bearcats to jump out to that quick start and is continuing their offense to play better.
Dan Skillings re-enters the floor for Cincinnati. He had 9 minutes in the first half. And you'll have to wonder how many more minutes is he going to get, as you're going to want to keep him healthy for the crosstown shootout next week on the 14th. Jizzle James will inbound. He's staying on the first eye in Cincinnati on the baseline. He only changed the lineup with Dan Skillings coming in. Replaces Connor Hickman. Soft loft over to Aziz Bandego. And just top of the circle to Dan Skillings on a rotation. Now Dan fires it up, and Dylan Mitchell, oh my goodness, where did he come from? Look out. Bombs are coming down. 49-38 Cincinnati. Howard tries to drive it in. Harper working against Dan Skillings. Great defense from Dan. And there's going to be what looks like a travel or a push-off called on Dan Skillings. Going to get the call for Harper, and it's going to be a foul and a baseline inbound for the Bison.
Yeah, I don't quite like that one, Ethan. I thought Harper double dribbled there, or at least traveled. He did something with the basketball, but ultimately they opted for the foul call.
Lofts one, nobody's in the area. Almost a backcourt violation, but won't be. Dockery goes and tracks it down. He meets Dan Skillings, who falls to the floor off a screen. 3 balls up and good. It's going to be the 4th three-pointer of the day for the Bison. They're shooting above 30% from beyond the arc. Jizzle James hands it to Dylan Mitchell. He's top of the circle, fires it off to his right to Jizzle James. James looking for a door in. He can't find one. Finds Seamas, though, on the outside, who lost it in for Aziz Bandego. He's under the basket, puts it up, and slams it down. 51-41, 15:38 remaining in the second half, excuse me. Time traveling here. Here's Gill, staying in the 5th-3rd logo. He moves off to his right, fires one over to Shockley Okiki. The drive and tripped up, met by the board monster on the floor, and an off-balance pass from Aziz Bandego meets Dan Skillings, but he gets fouled in the process of receiving the pass from Dockery. So it's going to be a foul that sends us to a timeout here on the floor, but chaos ensuing here from 5th-3rd Arena. Cincinnati leads by 10.
You know, a little bit wacky, a little bit wild, but I'm not against it. Sometimes some of your best basketball can be played when weird things happen.
You look at this Cincinnati team, and Howard, they've allowed Howard to make 4 of the last 5 shots, but Bearcats came away, had a really nice start to this half, and we'll see how this fares coming up after the break. You're listening to Cincinnati men's basketball here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Welcome back to Fifth Third Arena, and an upset alert coming as Kansas is trailing with 47 seconds remaining in the second half to Missouri, 74-65. That one's on ESPN2. A couple of games going on here in the Big 12. Looking at the scoreboard, UCF came back and won against Tarleton State 66-51. Vanderbilt upset TCU, beat TCU 83-74 in the USLBM Coast to Coast Challenge. Oklahoma State beat Seton Hall 85-76 in the Big 12 Big East battle, which would solidify the win for the Big 12 in that contest with 6 wins to 5. Still to come today, Texas A&M, number 22 ranked in the country, takes on Texas Tech at the USLBM Coast to Coast Challenge, and number 6 Iowa State will host Jackson State, who is searching for win number 1 on the season at the Hilton Coliseum at 6 p.m. That is on ESPN+. Back here at Cincinnati, Aziz Bandago's having a day, picking him up and throwing him down. Another duck for Aziz Bandago.
Yeah, and Bandago and Mitchell have both just been soaring through the sky so far in the second half. They just can't be stopped.
53-41, under 15 minutes to play here in the second half. A loose ball is picked up by Simas Lukosius. He's going to bring this offense back down to the offensive end of the floor. Simas drives, puts up a shot, and a little floater's up and in, 55-41.
There's your Bearcats leading scorer, continuing to make an impact. He's got 17 today.
Lukosius 6 for 8, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc today. 17 total points. 14:29 to go here, 55-41 the score. Howard back on offense. Dockery's got it, gets in off the screen, a couple of steps at the elbow, lofts a shot off the glass, and it's in. A good look there and some nice work of geometry trying to get that shot to go. 55-43 now, Cincinnati's lead. Here comes Jizzle James as he walks across the timeline here. James top of the circle, rotating off to his right. Had Dan Skillings open, but elects to go to the left side instead. Finds Dylan Mitchell with a little bit of help. 15 seconds on the timer, hands it back to Jizzle James. He goes, drives, cross court, Dan Skillings, 3-ball on the way, and it bounces off the rim. Rebound snagged by Harper. Here come the Howard Bison. Gill down the near side of the floor. Meets Jizzle James. Applying some pressure here, trying to get off the motion screen. Does so, driving base off the paint. Aziz Bandago shoved the ball away, but a foul was called before the shot. Will be a foul on Jizzle James. Goes down as James's third foul. He's in a light bit of foul trouble now. A couple of subs as well. Jizzle James, Aziz Bandago out. Here comes Tyler Betsy, Arlington Page, and Dede Thomas. Simas Lukosius is going to come off as well in place of Tyler Betsy. 13:40 left here in the second half of play. At some point I'll be able to tell you the right half. 55-43, Cincinnati leads it. Gill, baseline, still looking, can't quite find an open man, has to loft one, intercepted by Dan Skillings for the moment, but it's going to be recollected by Dockery. He's going to drive, looks for an outlet. Dan Skillings saved it for going out of bounds. What a play from Dan Skillings on the baseline. Here comes Dede Thomas. Thomas across the timeline, slows up with about 21 seconds on the timer. Fires it off to the right, gets it over to Dan Skillings on the wing. Now driving inside the paint, lofts one off the glass, gets an unfriendly roll, and rebounded by Stewart. Strong dribbles it down the floor, meets Tyler Betsy, spins back around, backtracks to the C-Pod center court. Dede Thomas tried to get that steal off Gill, couldn't quite get there. Now here comes Strong, baseline, cuts it, fires one out of bounds. Turns it back over to Cincinnati, and good defense and finding ways to turn over the ball that you may not even expect.
Yeah, that was always going to be a tough play for Dockery to try to make in the corner. Tried to go back and catch that with one hand. It's a tough pass to corral, especially when that one's zinged at him.
That was a bullet of a pass. I'll say that. It's going to be a tough one to catch. Dede Thomas receives the inbound. He's going to dribble it up the floor for the Bearcats. Bearcats number 14th in the country so far. First time ranked since the 2019 season. That was the last time they made the NCAA tournament. Tyler Betsy inside, kicks it back out. Dylan Mitchell, rare 3-ball. It's wide. It's going to be rebounded by Harper.
Yeah, not typically what you see Dylan Mitchell taking those shots, but I'm not mad at the confidence to take them.
Dylan Mitchell has only attempted 8 My goodness, I can't find it. Has attempted 8 3-point shots this season. Dan Skillings gets misses one block, but affects the second shot. And here comes Dylan Mitchell down the floor after the missed three-point bucket. Here's Dede Thomas. Rotates back around. He's standing outside the circle. Bet by Harper. Fires it off. Dylan Mitchell's three again, and it's good. Dylan Mitchell makes three-pointer number 3 of his career.
If Dylan Mitchell can unlock that shot, he will become even more dangerous of an offensive player.
That was just a shove and maybe a good sell the foul from Dede Thomas. That's gonna send us to a media timeout. Cincinnati off on the front foot here in the second half. 58-43, Cincinnati's lead with 11:55 to go. You're listening to Cincinnati men's basketball here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Welcome back to Fifth Third Arena, 58-43. Cincinnati has the lead alongside Justin Dedrick and Ethan Herzog. And Cincinnati's next game is crosstown shootout against Xavier, who will be coming off of a Morgan State contest. That's at the Cintas Center on December 10th. That's on Tuesday at 7 p.m. on the CBS Sports Network and 700 WLW. But a slight chance that Cincinnati faces off against a ranked opponent in Xavier. Xavier is receiving votes in the AP poll, only 33, but a good win at Morgan State might sneak them in to that 25th spot.
Remember though, that loss for TCU was after the last rankings as well, so that will also be factored in.
Definitely could affect it here. Crosstown shootout Saturday, December 14th at Fifth Third Arena at 2 p.m. You catch it on a multitude of places, ESPN Plus, 700 WLW, and right here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Justin Dedrick and Christian Pagan will have the call, and I'll be here somewhere in the building, probably hiding and enjoying the game. 58-43, Cincinnati with it. Lukosius fires it to Betsy. He pump fakes, sends it in the corner to Connor Hickman. Hickman fires it back to Betsy, now back to Hickman. Arns and Page now with it. Wing fires it. Free ball for Dede Thomas. It's good and to go. And won a 4-point play on the horizon.
There we go. Thomas is just struggling from the field today. 1 of 6 before that one. Good to see him get some type of spark on the offensive end.
I mean, he's all smiles after that play, and to be fair, I would too. Knocking down a 3 with a chance for 4. Dede Thomas, first trip to the line today, was a JUCO transfer out of Kilgore College last season. He connects 4 points. 62-43 Cincinnati. finally starting to find some offensive momentum and slowly starting to run away with this one here in the second half. Here's Strong with the rock, fires it over to Okiki. Okiki's looking against Betsy. Betsy applying a little bit of pressure here, rotates off to his right, fires it over to Dockery. Dockery, fifth third logo, passes it across back towards about the C-paw. Ends up with Okiki after that, fires it. 3-ball, Dede Thomas misses on the block, and it's going to be rung out. Unfortunate from Dockery, who's 2 for 5 now on the day. Simas Lukosius gets knocked to the floor. And there's a struggle for the ball, but it's going to stay with Cincinnati. Looks like a foul will be called and assessed, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to catch. Was that Harper?
Unsure. So it wasn't called a jump ball. Nonetheless, here we go. A tough screen from Page knocks Harper to the floor. Now Tyler Betsy's three is good. Tyler Betsy knocks down three-pointer number 7 on the day for Cincinnati.
Blake Harper got up a little slow from that. He's walking gingerly. Looked like took a shot to the hip.
The tough screen from Aronson Page, and I guess Harper just ran into that brick wall, and it's not really a pleasant body to run into. You got 6'11", 240-pound Aronson Page. Almost a steal from Page as well on the defensive end of the floor. Howard now outside the circle. Page almost pokes it away. He contorted in an odd way. He's still on the floor. He is in a lot of pain there as Howard is able to get the shot up, and Page is still down. Training staff going to run out onto the floor. And I saw that the moment it happened. He contorted in an odd way, twisted his entire body to try and snag the loose ball, and he hasn't gotten up since.
Yeah, my view is completely obstructed by the basket here. So I didn't even know he was still down until you said something. Hopefully they check on him and he is okay.
Might have just pulled something. The training staff head over and take a look. Aronson Page, sophomore, forward transfer from USC, gets up to his feet. Atlanta, Georgia native.
Like he's
made the trip and scored 7 at Georgia Tech. A little homecoming.
like he's walking just a little light on that left leg.
Substitution brings back in Aziz Bandego. Now on the floor for Cincinnati, Connor Hickman, Tyler Betsy, Dede Thomas, Simas Lukosius, and Aziz Bandego to keep the offense here. Connor Hickman slips a little bit, and it's going to get sent back to Simas Lukosius, who crosses the top of the timeline, He kicks it back out. Dede Thomas, pretty 3-ball. My goodness. A work of art between Simas Lukosius and Dede Thomas.
And that's the offensive spark that the Bearcats needed from Dede Thomas coming off the bench. They're glad to have him back from injury.
13-2 scoring run here for the Bearcats. 10 minutes to play in the second half. Top of the circle, 3-ball on the way, and it goes off and wide from Harper. He misses another. He is 0 for 3. Tyler Betsy pump fake, drives inside, throws one off the glass. Offensive rebound to Aziz Bandego and gets the and one. Was able to clean it up and found a chance for one more. And I mean, this Cincinnati team, night and day between the first and second half.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the Bearcats team that we're used to seeing here. The aggression by Betsy and Bandego, it's great to see.
Aziz Bandego is 10 for 14 coming into this contest from free throw shooting, and that one gets a friendly bounce. It's up and in. He connects on his first. He's attempted a total of 3 today. 71-45 now for Cincinnati. Bounce pass over to Campbell. He's top of the circle. Still outside the arc, but steps one step inside. Fires it over to Harper. Harper puts up a shot, and he gets it to go. It's a foul on Dede Thomas. It's going to be his first personal. will be the team's fifth. Team's fourth, excuse me.
It's like Dom Campbell for Howard took a shot to the back of the neck there. He was holding his head and his neck area. Looks like he's all right, though.
A very physical game between these two as we progress. Cincinnati chasing a 30-point lead now over Howard. Up 71-47 with 9:29 to go here in the second half. Shot goes up and is good from Gill. The second one he's made, he's been one other time. Gill also with 4 personal fouls on the day. He might be your first foul out that you see. 71-48, Cincinnati with the rock. Dede Thomas fires it over to Hickman. Hickman's on the wing. Now he throws inside central. He lofts it for Aziz Bandego, and it's up and in off the slam. Good look from Connor Hickman to find a cutting Aziz Bandego and increase the lead by 2. 9:04 and counting to go. A shove off on Tyler Betsy from Gill, excuse me. No call. Now Campbell with the rock on the opposite side of the floor. Guarded guy Aziz Bandego, step for step he goes. Some tight defense here, bouncing it around, and a foul called somewhere on the floor. Substitutions as well coming in. Stewart's going to re-enter. Dylan Mitchell will replace Tyro Betsy, and Jizzle James will come in to replace Dede Thomas.
You hear Dede Thomas getting a little bit of an ovation here. The fans love to see that he's back hitting his shots. 9 points on the day. Not sure if we're going to see him check in again, but a good outing from him if we don't.
15 minutes for Dede Thomas, 3 of 8 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3 with a single free throw, 2 assists, and a steal on the day. Harper drives, and finds 2 more. 73-50 now the score. 23-point lead for Cincinnati over Howard with 8:32 to go here in the half. Jizzle James is going to slow down the offensive pace just a smidge. Sends it over to his right to Dylan Mitchell. Mitchell hands it back to Simas Sukocious. Cutaway 3 is off the rim, no good. Aziz Bandego slaps that one out. Good play from Connor Hickman to save it from going out of bounds. Landed in the court side seating. Dylan Mitchell ran over to try and collect the ball, but a whistle blows, and I believe it'll go back the way of Howard.
And that was a dangerous play because Strong dove towards the legs of Dylan Mitchell. That could have been disastrous. Good job for Mitchell to get out of the way of that.
They're now playing heavy metal here in Fifth Third Arena. I never thought I'd hear the day.
Listen, the playlists inside Fifth Third are a little bit, wonky all over the place, but they do the job.
DJ E-Train providing the tunes here at Fifth Third Arena today. 73-50 still the score here. Cincinnati's lead, 23 points is the deficit. Gill fires it over to his right to Harper. Harper rotating the circle to his right, hands it over to Strong. He goes the opposite way. Now a 3-ball on the way, and it bounces off the rim. A nice rebound from Dylan Mitchell, and it's going to be rebound number 2 for him today, both of which are defensive. Now Jizzle James, backdoor cut, can't quite find an open door, and it's going to send it back out beyond the arc. Still looking inside, can't find anything, gets it off to Dylan Mitchell, who hands it back to Jizzle James. A 3-ball on the way, and it's short off the front rim. Rebounded by Gill. Here comes a transition offense from Howard. Elected not to take the first 3, but the second one is up, and it's off the rim. Bouncing, Jizzle James couldn't get there in time. Still another 3, pump fakes that one instead. Strong gets it back over to Gill. He's in the corner. 13 seconds on the timer. Nice defense here from Cincinnati. Ball's poked away. Aziz Bandego dives on it. It's going to be out of bounds, and it'll go the direction of Howard.
Yeah, you can hear the crowd getting excited for Aziz Bandego diving for that one. The effort, the hustle plays, the energy on defense has just been astronomical in the second half.
The 7-foot Utah Valley transfer dive to the ball, and it's going to send us to immediate timeout. Cincinnati still leads by 23, 73-50 over Howard with 7:13 remaining in the second half. This has been Cincinnati men's basketball here on Bearcast Sports Radio.
What is good, Bearcats? It is time to play that.
Welcome back to Fifth Third Arena. 23-point lead for Cincinnati, shooting 57% from the floor, 40% from beyond the arc. And it was a tough, strong effort on the baseline, but Cincinnati is going to lose the ball out of bounds and give it back to Howard. They'll have it under their offensive basket. Alongside Justin Dedrick, Ethan Herzog, Aiden Riggs, producing here right in between the two of us in our broadcast position. 7:13 to go and 8 seconds on the shot clock for Howard to try and get a shot off. And a good one at that. Still looking for an option in slow inbound. It's going to be up and an and one called on Stewart. He's going to get sent to the line. It was a good find over the basket, though, for Howard to capitalize and get a chance to cut the deficit to 20.
Yeah, they've played. Obviously that first half was a lot better for them, but they haven't played bad in the second half. The Bearcats just really started to find their rhythm. There's not much that Howard could really do to combat that.
Cincinnati, so far in the second half of play, has shot 68% from the field and 44% from three, as the shot is up and good from Stewart. Converts on the three-point play, 20-point lead for Cincinnati now. Slowly chipping away at the lead, trying to make some kind of comeback here against Cincinnati in Fifth Third Arena. Day Thomas with it. Left wing, rotates back right, fires it right to Simas Lukosius. Now an open Josh Reed. That window closed. He makes a spin move, now kicks it back to the corner. Dylan Mitchell cuts one way, fixes the other. Goes to Day Thomas, top of the circle, and it's off the rim, no good. Punched the rebound out, Aziz Mandego did, but it's straight into the waiting hands of a Bison. He shoves Day Thomas to the floor, and it's going to be a foul on Gill. Oh my goodness, that almost uncalled for from Gill. Gill's fouled out. He's gone. That's his fifth foul. Gill, who shot 2 of 3 from the field and 1 of 1 from the stripe, with 5 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal, is gone from the game. He's fouled out.
There's aggression, and then there's just assault.
Wow. Dylan Mitchell with the rock. Right wing, fires it centrally, goes to Simas Lukosius, he lost the rock. It's going to be picked up by Strong. Down go the Bison to the floor. Okiki has it against Aziz Bandego. Had a little bounce pass over to Stewart. He drives, leaves it for Harper, and he cleans it up. 73-55 now, 16 to play in the second half of play. Cincinnati fighting to keep a top 25 ranking with a good win against Howard. They may just do so. Hands it over to Josh Reed. He lost the rock, was able to recover. Dylan Mitchell steps up from the free throw stripe, leaves it for Aziz Bandego, a behind the back slam to increase the lead back to 20, 75-55. Here comes Dockery. Sends it over to Stewart over his left. Still standing top of the circle. Tries to fake the pass, but a good defensive pressure here from Aziz Bandego, but finds a cutting Dockery, but can't connect on the shot. Now Dylan Mitchell down the floor. Mitchell has it poked away from behind, a nice steal, and here come the Bison. 3-ball on the way, it's good. A nice clean look from Strong, and he's 3 for 5.
Yeah, it's a good job to be able to, get the steal there and create your own shot. You get the wide open look, and you knock it down. That's just efficient basketball.
Day Thomas with it. He's standing at the C-Pod center court. Gives it for Simas Lukosius. He's a couple steps from the wing. Lukosius drives inside the paint, fakes one shot, goes up a second time, foul called. It's going to be a foul on number 15, Shockley Okiki. It's going to be his third, team's 9th of the half. Bonus situation for Cincinnati. It'll be shots more often than not for the Bearcats. Lukosius makes a trip to the line. It'll be his first of the day. First shot for the Butler transfer is up and good.
It's good to see Lukosius getting back into his groove. That last game against Villanova was his worst shooting game for the season. It was 3-9 from 3. That's not ideal. Tonight, he's 3 of 6, 7 of 10 from the field overall. He's got back into his shot-making rhythm.
Missed the second shot. It's going to be rebounded by Harper, and here come the Bison. Trying to cut away this lead before time expires. 4:53 and counting to go in the half. Top of the circle goes to Stewart. Stewart kind of locked in position, but finds a cut, and it's going to be up and in from Dockery. Dockery's been that pesky cutting man for Howard as well, and the other double-digit scorer, Harper, has 19, Dockery has 12. Day Thomas on the other end of the floor for Cincinnati. Tried to leave it for Arlington Page, but it was behind him, and it's going to go out of bounds to give it back to Howard. Connor Hickman's going to re-enter. Simas Lukosius will step off. Lukosius 18 total points. He leads the Bearcats and is 1 point away from being the leading scorer across all scorers. Harper has 19. He leads all scorers in this contest. 4.5 to play here in the half. Here comes a driving Harper. He stops just outside the paint, guarded by Josh Reed. Reed gets caught on the spin move. Shot goes up off the glass and in. 21 points now for Harper.
What a move by Blake Harper. That gives him his season high, 21. His previous season high was 20 that he had against UMBC, and he gets it on a sweet spin.
Day Thomas, left wing now. 4:06 to play in the half. 17 seconds on the timer, 76-62. Cincinnati's lead. Connor Hickman's three goes off the rim. Fight for the board, and it's grabbed offensively by Day Thomas. And a slide on the other end from Harper as a pass goes wild, but it's picked up by Hickman. He tries to clean it up, misses the shot. It's going to be rebounded by Stewart, and here come the Howard Bison down the floor. Dockery with it, tries to get off the screen, had a window, he takes it anyway. It's up off the rim, rebounded by Arlington Page. Here comes Day Thomas now down the floor, 3.5 to play in the half. Thomas standing at the fifth third logo, pass it over centrally to Arlington Page. Page spin move in the paint, puts up a shot, and it's up and in. Dockery tried to draw the foul and couldn't quite find the result that he wanted. So 78-62 the score. Cincinnati looking to increase that lead back up to 20 that they had just a few minutes ago. Lots of motion here on the floor for Howard. Stewart with it, fires it short over to Okiki. Okiki guarded against Dylan Mitchell, 11 seconds on the timer. Looking for a way inside, finds one. Harper fade away, up no good. A rebound snagged by Arlington Page. Here's Day Thomas as he walks down the floor, trying to burn off as much time as possible. Cincinnati looking to come out of this one with a win after a loss 68-60 against Villanova last week. Day Thomas takes a couple steps backwards, now driving inside, cuts around, backdoor, it's up, and offensive rebound almost cleaned up by Page. Page gets it the third time, it's up and it's in. Third time's a charm for Arlington Page. Now Dockery down the floor. 2:19 to play here in the half. 22 seconds on the shot clock to work with. Here's Okiki. Fires it back centrally up to Dockery. Dockery trying to get off Day Thomas. Step for step, he goes on defense. Fires it over to the right side. Has Strong. Strong against Hickman. 8 and 8 going at it. A grab from Josh Reed. No call. Fires it back centrally. Harper. Harper lost the rock. Here comes Connor Hickman. He's up and he got it. 70-point lead once again for Cincinnati.
That's good to see Hickman get a bucket to go. He's been struggling. 1 of 10 from the field in his last 2 games, not including this one. It's good to see him at least get something to fall.
Hickman on the season, 19 of 43 from the field, 7 of 24 from 3. Has been to the stripe once, attempting one shot and made a singular one. He has 45 points, 5 steals, and a block as well on the season. This is the final media timeout, and under 2 minutes to play as we take it. Cincinnati leads 82-62 against the Howard Bison, but we come back. Cincinnati men's basketball here on Bearcats Sports Radio. Welcome back to Fifth Third Arena, and at the 1:57 mark in the second half, Connor Hickman hit a layup that would put him over 1,000 career points. So congrats to Connor Hickman on a long and high-scoring career, mostly with Bradley. Scored 449 points a season ago. He met Cincinnati in the NIT last season. 1:41 to go here in the half. Rayvon Griffith enters the game for Cincinnati as a late substitution. Because a foul is going to be called, I believe, on Rayvon. Enters the game playing some defense and gets fouled almost immediately.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a guy in Blake Harp who knows how to get to the line. He's got 5 attempts today, averages 5.2 free throw attempts per game. He just knows how to get there, and it's a skill in basketball that great scorers have. And Harper, I mean, he's been a great scorer today.
Harper, 21 points on the day as his first shot is up and good. He has not missed a free throw as well. He's now 6 for 6 with a chance to go 7 for 7.
I mean, he's a true freshman, too. He's still got a lot of time to learn and grow, and he's already playing great basketball early into his college career.
Second shot's up and good, goes 7 for 7. He has 23 points on the day against Cincinnati. A minute and a half to play. Jizzle James with the rock. He has 4 fouls on the day as well. Rayvon Griffith with it now centrally. He's at the top of the circle, fires it back left to Jizzle James. James looking for a way in, can't find it. Back over to the right, into the corner. Josh Reed, 3 ball. It's off the rim, no good. Offensive board for Arlington Page. He tries to kick it back out to Reed, but met by a slew of Bison is intercepted. Now, Howard, that shot off the front rim straight into the hands of Josh Reed off the ricochet. So it's going to be a Cincinnati basketball with about a minute to go here in the contest. Jizzle James back centrally. The Bearcats can hold on and choke off as much time as possible as Jizzle James charges forward, kicks it back out. Top of the circle now to Josh Reed. He drives inside, puts up a shot wide off the glass. Arlington Page gets the rebound. Tyler Betsy, 3rd time's a charm. And a foul called on the floor as well.
There we go,
Or a timeout called, excuse me.
You know, being aggressive down there and in for into the mix for the boards. Gets the putback. I like to see that from the young fella.
Tyler Betsy, 3 points on the day, 1 of 3, 1 of 2 from beyond the arc. He has 2 rebounds as well. With 12 minutes on the floor. As well, the Frenchman, Halvin Zella, is going to step onto the floor as well, number 65. A big-time pickup. He's played in the pro leagues in France as well. Very talented young man that has a lot of potential here on Wes Miller's staff. 43 seconds to go here in the game. 84-64, Cincinnati up by 20. Okiki driving inside, looks for the back door, can't find it, guarded by Tyler Betsy. Nice defense there from him. Kicks it back, Okiki now, 4-3, it's up and in. Under 30 to play, shot clock turned off. Cincinnati has a chance to just kind of milk this clock out, but some pressure being applied by Johnson, who recently entered and only has 6 minutes on the floor. Jizzle James over to Rayvon Griffith. Griffith back to James. He's standing at half court, trying to protect this basketball. This clock trickling down. James now drives, fires it back. Josh Reed takes a step, fakes a 3. He's going to hold it, let this clock expire. Not the best first half, but the second half they came back alive and come and beat Howard 84-67 here at Fifth Third Arena today. Justin, your final thoughts?
Honestly, when you play that bad in the first half, to come back and have a second half like that is a very, very encouraging and great news. There's something you can build on here, Ethan, before your matchup with Xavier next Saturday.
Cincinnati in the first half shot 48% from the field, 36% from 3. And coming out in the second half, they would shoot 57% from the field, 33% from 3, and 67% from the stripe. They would finish shooting with a percentage of 57 from the field, 33 from 3, and 66 from the free throw stripe. The leading scorer for Cincinnati, Simas Lukosius, 18 total points, 7 of 10 from the field, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, and a single free throw made of 2. He had 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals in his 29 minutes on the floor. Dylan Mitchell would finish with 14, and Aziz Bandego would finish with 17. Cincinnati 26 bench points, 52 points in the paint, and 24 points off turnovers, forcing 16 turnovers and getting 9 points off of them, with 16 fast break points and 13 offensive rebounds to speak of. Cincinnati wraps this one up and has a week off before they face off against crosstown rival Xavier. That is on Saturday, December 14th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be back here. Justin Dedrick, Christian Pagan will be here on the call for the annual Skyline Chili Crosstown Shootout. And don't miss the women's Crosstown Shootout the day after at the Cintas Center. That's on December 15th at 1 p.m. Myself, Ethan Herzog, and Aiden Riggs will have the call from Xavier. One final time from Fifth Third Arena. Cincinnati takes it home, 84-67 over the Howard Bison. For Aiden Riggs, our producer, Justin Dedrick, and myself, Ethan Herzog, we say so long from Fifth Third Arena, and we'll see you next time.